I'm Jennifer Kovach. I'm the director here for our South Florida operations for the Jim Moran Institute. And my goal here today is to share a little bit about what we do, what our small business executive program is about, what to expect, and hopefully gain your interest in applying and being part of our programs. I am going to go ahead and get started with the presentation. And then my goal is that we'll have some time at the end to take anybody's questions that you may have. So if you're just joining us, I'm Jennifer Kovach with the Jim Moran Institute with our South Florida operations. And we're going to go ahead and get started with our info session about our small business executive program. So, like I said, welcome and thank you all for being here this morning or this afternoon. I'm having a little technical difficulties. My screen is blocked, so that should work. We are trying to record this session today and hopefully be able to share it with others that weren't able to join us. And if you're uncomfortable with that, I would go ahead and either hide your video screen and of course, please go ahead and mute yourself so we can have some good sound for this session. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to go ahead and have questions and answers at the end of my presentation. So who are we? We are the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship, and we were founded back in 1995 from the generous contributions of Jim and Jan Moran and his company, JM Family Enterprises. We are part of Florida State University and as well as part of the College of Business. Mr. Moran was a successful entrepreneur in the automobile industry and really believed in helping other leaders, nonprofits, and small businesses and help you find a better path to growing and leading your organization. The family has continued to be very generous. Mrs. Moran has continued to donate to us through the years, as well as the Jim Moran Foundation, so that we can provide these programs that I'm going to share with you to you and the community. So our mission is to cultivate, inspire, and train entrepreneurial leaders. We do that through our executive education programs, through applied training, as well as public recognition events and our leading edge research. So a little bit about us here in South Florida. This is our training room. We're in downtown Fort Lauderdale on Broward Boulevard. And we've been here in this office a little over 7 years, but in the South Florida community for many more. We are a small and mighty team. Myself, Jennifer Kovach, I'm the director. My colleague, Amy McDevitt, who's on this video call as well. And then our colleague, John Gargata. And we have a team member as well from our national level, Logan Thorne, joining us today. So how do we get started? I just want to give you a little background input. Like I mentioned, we're part of Florida State Universities, and our organization was founded in 1995. And it was about 14 years later that we actually expanded outside of the Tallahassee region and came down to South Florida. This is where Mr. Moran and JM Family Enterprises headquarters are located, so it makes sense for our first expansion to be here in South Florida. We were visiting, I call it visitors, for a couple of years, traveling from Tallahassee and visiting the area and working with small business leaders. And it was in 2012 that we made the investment to make a full-time commitment to this area. And in 2013, I was able to launch our first small business executive program. This was inspired by our nationwide entrepreneur boot camp for veterans program we do with about 8 other universities around the country. And now it's become our flagship program that we offer at all of our JMI locations across the state. We originally had our nonprofit leaders as part of our small business executive program, but with additional funding, we were able to expand that in 2016 and bring about our nonprofit executive program. I'm so happy to share as well that this year is our 10th anniversary of offering our executive programs. And so we have nearly 700 graduates who have completed our programs, as well as graduated 43 classes. So I hope, after that many classes under my belt, I should be able to answer most of your questions today and give you a really thorough review of what we do and what to expect. All right. Our next program that's starting in the fall of 2023 is our Small Business Executive Program. we have some restrictions on who can be involved with this program. And so I want to make sure that each of you know a little bit about the 3 basic requirements of who we look for to be accepted into the program. You need to be an entrepreneur and or business owner. I think they're the same, but for some reason we use both names. But you need to be an owner in the organization. We only accept about 18 individuals, but they do have to be from a broad range of non-competing industries. What does that mean? We want to make sure there's not a competitor in the room and that you will feel comfortable sharing and getting to know your teammates and your facilitator. You also need to be the key decision maker. We know many of business leaders are owners of a business, but not necessarily always the key decision maker, and there can be multiple. But we do want to make sure the person who comes and participates in the program is going to be able to immediately go and apply the changes and programs and information they learn through our program and not necessarily have to ask permission. The other key restriction that we look for is 3 years in business. That's the minimum. We want to see someone that's been up and running for several years, their business has tested out what works and what doesn't work and is ready to make some changes within the organization. And you do also have to have 3 employees to be a part of the program. Those employees can be part-time or contractual, but a key component is the ability to be able to delegate and leave the office and be able to be fully involved into our program. And that are the minimums. We do prefer 5 years and 5 employees, but we will consider 3 and 3 employees. I mentioned we do a nonprofit executive program as well. This program won't be offered until next spring, 2024, but it has very similar requirements such as the CEO or leader of the business. 18 individuals are accepted and 3 years and 3 years in business and 3 employees. But with one caveat or asterisk near that is we do accept volunteers in lieu of employees if that is the key model of that business, is to have volunteers versus employees. All right, so what is the program? Why should you be a part of it? Why is this something you should consider for your organization? We really strive to put together a world-class learning experience for you. We're focused on growth, developing your leadership expertise, and of course, financial success. We strive to examine the best practices from the CEO's perspective. So we're really talking to that leader and founder, CEO of the organization. We, of course, will introduce some basic business fundamentals, but we'll also reinforce those as well, but cover a broad range of topics, but from the knowledge that you've already been up and running for several years and you're looking to build upon your experience already. So we cover sales, finance, marketing, accounting, leadership, business law, HR, and many, many more as well. One of the favorite things and probably key takeaways that people come to above and beyond the education you're going to receive is really that ability to connect with your peers. Also, we have about 30 expert speakers that come and present. And so that's such great knowledge and context you'll build with, the 18 participants who are in the program, as well as the speakers, and of course, our team as well. And we are so blessed that our expert speakers all volunteer their time to do one-on-one consulting with each of our participants afterwards if you reach out to them. We also have a great community of resources in the South Florida area that we strive to connect you with as well. So you'll be introduced to some of those organizations when you participate in the program. And then we do have 2 assignments that we encourage you and ask that you complete to be a graduate of this program. And one is what we call the business model canvas. You can Google it and find it online, but it's a core curriculum of our program. And we really want to help you map out and understand your business model and really get a bird's eye view of what you're doing. And then there's going to be so much great information that's going to be shared, and you're going to have so many ideas of things you want to apply and do to your organization. We help you organize all of that and put it into a strategic action plan that you submit at the end of the program. That is hopefully your roadmap of what you're going to go forth and do after you graduate. Okay, I've spoken long enough. But let me let you hear from a few of our graduates. This is a testimonial from one of our small business executive program graduates. Rigo Garcia says the biggest thing we have to learn as entrepreneurs is that we don't know everything. We have to keep learning, keep pivoting, and keep getting better. The Jim Moran Institute is a great organization to add to your team and a wonderful resource for your entrepreneurial journey. And I want to also share a word from our nonprofit graduate, Ms. Heather Siskin from Jack and Jill Children's Center, just down the road from us. Very similar concept, like I said, with the nonprofit executive program. She says, make time to work on yourself so you can be the very best for your business. This program offers new ideas, refreshes what you know, and helps broaden your network. You will get a return on your investment. So we love both of them, and we, of course, think their comments are also would be of impact to you and want you to learn from them as well. So once again, why do we think this program is important for you to be a part of? We believe it helps you emerge a stronger leader. You'll be ready to capitalize on opportunities, implement best practices, turn challenges into strategic advantages, and of course, become part of the JMI family of our alumni network and programs and gain a powerful network of peers. All right, now, can you fit in your schedule? Will this work for you? We offer this program twice a year. If you look on your left-hand side of the screen, you'll see our Small Business Executive Program. We offer it twice a year here in Broward County. It is offered across the state as well, so we'll touch on that as well at the end. But I know all of you applied or signed up to learn about our South Florida programs. We offer the program, like I said, twice a year, once starting in January through May, which we're running right now. And then we'll start again for the session we're talking about today in the end of July. And we run through mid-November, wrapping up the week before Thanksgiving. There's 9 sessions. It averages out to be meeting about 2 times a month on a Tuesday. Every 2 weeks, we come back on a Tuesday and meet. And our typical day is from 8:30 to 2 p.m. There's, I think, 2 to 3 sessions where we may stay a little afterwards, but we give you a big heads up on that so you can plan accordingly. And finally, this particular program is in person, and we primarily meet at our JMI office in downtown Fort Lauderdale. If you look to your right, you'll see if any of our nonprofit leaders are on the call today. This program, though, is only offered 1 time a year. It's our January through May program. Once again, it's also 9 sessions offered twice a month, 8:30 to 2, and in our JMI office. Excuse me. All right, so the extra good news is there is no charge for this program. And we are so grateful for Jim Moran, and the Jim Moran Foundation to request that of us and to make that a key aspect of why we provide this program to the community so that everybody can participate. You do need to apply by March 31st for our fall 2023 program. And if you're interested in our spring 2024 program, which seems so far away, but you know how time flies, that deadline will be in September, and we'll open those applications after March 31st. Here's our website if you haven't already visited us. And our motto for JMI we usually always stick to this motto, but there's a couple more. But really it is business matters. Let us help you work on your business. It truly is, when you participate in this program, still working. We're just working on your organization, helping you break away from that day-to-day and finding time to work strategically on where you want to go with your organization. All right, let me grab a glass of water and we'll go ahead and get into what else we do here at JMI. All right, when you graduate from our programs, we have a couple things that we do for our alumni. We have what we call a CEO peer-to-peer group that meets monthly with about a group of 12 to 15 other CEOs, and you work on, you bring forth any key issue that's going on within your organization that you want to share and get feedback on. It's really like an informal advisory group, but we don't necessarily formally give advice. We share from our experience if we've ever handled or addressed that issue. The other thing we do is have some alumni socials to stay connected and just to have a little fun together. And we are just launching our Alumni Reunion Summit this April, which we hope to be an annual event to get all of our alumni back together to learn together as well. We also host an expert speaker series in the fall. We have, I think, 2 planned. Nothing's to be announced yet, but we're planning to do 2 fall expert speaker series. And then you can't miss our Small Business Leadership Conference that takes place every summer. It's now in Orlando, and it's going to be on June 19th through the 21st, and we're currently accepting registration for that. So I really encourage you to check it out. It's a great event. Maybe Logan, you can shout out how long, or put in the chat box how many years we've been doing that conference. It's got to be over 10. Let's see. Then we do have some veteran programs for any of those who are veterans or family members of veterans. Those we do through our national affiliation with other entrepreneur universities across the nation. And so those are oftentimes some portion virtual, as well as they take place in our headquarters in Tallahassee. And then for any Knowles on the call today, we have a Seminole 100 event where we celebrate the fastest growing entrepreneur businesses that are led or owned by Seminoles. That is FSU Seminoles. Woohoo! All right. Like I mentioned before, I said I would mention where our other locations are across the state. Whether you travel, have other locations, or just have some other great entrepreneurs or nonprofit leaders you want to recommend. Our North Florida operations includes our Tallahassee headquarters, as well as our Jacksonville location. We also have Central Florida operations with offering our executive programs in Tampa, St. Pete, and just launching this year in Orlando. And hopefully coming soon is a nationwide online version as well. All right. We always like to share a little bit about some additional resources in case we aren't a right fit, or you just want to continue to learn more about other things that are here in the South Florida area. So we chair and head up the Alliance of Entrepreneur Resource Organizations. There's about 15 other organizations similar to us that provide education and training for entrepreneurs. And I encourage you to, take a picture of the screen or write down the website and visit that as well, because we're continually seeing amazing programs that are going on in the South Florida community, and I encourage you to get involved. And if any of our nonprofit leaders are on board as well, we have a group as well called the Alliance of Nonprofit Resource Organizations that has some additional resources for you. So I'll conclude with, after the call, if you have any follow-up questions, you're welcome to reach out to my colleague, Amy McDevitt. Her contact information is here. She just waved, and you can reach out to us anytime. We're happy to answer any follow-up questions. And finally, speaking of follow-up questions, it's time for questions. So as I mentioned earlier, we are recording this. Our hope is to put it online for others to be able to learn as well. But if you have any concerns, please write us or email us, and we'll see what we can do to remove your question. But that is our plan, or you can just private email us your question. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing so I can see all of you and we can get to know each other. Okay, any brave souls ask the first question?
Hey, Jeff, we have a question in the chat.
Okay.
I have a friend who just graduated from the program last year. She said it's so worth it. So it's not actually a question.
Woohoo! Thank you for the comment or compliment. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Someone did ask, there are sole proprietors, should they stay on the call? And I provided the South Florida biz.org information. So if you want to just explain.
Yeah, at this point, we are not accepting solo entrepreneurs. We are continuing to evolve our programs, and I believe in the horizon, there is potentially a program for solo entrepreneurs coming, but at this time for this particular program, the Small Business Executive Program here in South Florida, you would not be eligible. But I would encourage you, like I showed before, to visit our South Florida, southfloridabiz.org website to learn more about the resources in the community. There's multiple other, groups that meet in a group of 20 or more that will do education and training over a long period of time. I believe it's Broward County has one in their economic development organization, Nova Southeastern, and Broward College. So you'll find all their information on that website as well.
Yeah, and some of the cities also. Okay, so we do have another question in the chat. Does an equity partner in a 65 employee business with a 6 equity partners qualify? I'm sorry, I'm not super clear.
So as long as you're actively running the organization in the day-to-day operations, then as long as you're one of the key leaders, we've had multiple owners come through that own the same company, but we just take one owner at a time. And then, like I mentioned, as long as you're one of the key decision makers and actively running the organization. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, I don't see anything else in the chat right now. Wait, do 1099 status employees qualify?
Yes, contractual 1099 employees qualify. Like I mentioned, the challenge I've seen when people don't have enough employees is it's been really hard for people to get away to be a part of this program. They're either missing because an employee called out, they're having to be on the phone multiple times through the training day. And so we want you to be able to be a part of this program too. And that is, a component. So yes, 1099 employees count.
Okay, and we have one more. I joined a few minutes into the presentation. This question may have been answered. Is this open to any for-profit industry? I'm in design and marketing.
Yes, so our Small Business Executive Program is open to for-profit businesses. If, on a side note, not related to your question, if you're a nonprofit and you do tend to have more of a revenue fee for service-based model, we can make an exception and include you in our Small Business Executive Program as well. We've had multiple businesses go through that way, but the Small Business Executive Program is for for-profit businesses primarily.
The next question, we have a few now.
Okay.
What are some of the specifics that are covered during the classes?
I'll get out my handbook and read it over for you guys. So we do leadership. We do 2 classes on the nonprofit executive, on the business model canvas. We do accounting, cash flow, finance, marketing, digital marketing, sales, HR, business law. I'm going off. We have quite a few guest entrepreneurs that come in and share their personal journey and what's worked for them, the ups and downs. And then, Amy, am I missed anything? I know we've got a couple more.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading the chat.
No worries. I'm grabbing it. Yeah. Yeah, strategic planning. If I missed that one, customer service, loyalty, impression management, intellectual property, overall general operations strategies for the business, diversity inclusion, financing your growth of your business through lending, general government contracting, technology, and I think that about covers it all. They're about an hour each topic. We cover about an hour on each topic, and then we have those 2 assignments with our business model canvas as a key focus and the action plan at the end.
Yes. Okay. So we have a comment. It is a bit of a time commitment, but seems very worthwhile. Thank you, Jeremy. And then will this course be offered solely online in the future is the next question.
We are in development of a solely online program. And it potentially by the end of this year, I can't say 100% sure. And I do believe it will be a paid program though.
Okay. And that'll be national.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And the next question is I'm going to hit the 3-year mark in July. Should I apply or should I wait until next year?
I think you could apply. Sometimes we do look at that if you're going to be 3 years when you start the program as well. So if you don't want to wait and you want to, try to get in, then I would go ahead and apply. Yeah, we've definitely taken people right on that border.
And then sometimes we put people on our wait list, which could end up being pre-enrolled for the following time, the following term.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Amy. So over the years, we've just, no one likes to turn anyone away. So we do have limited seat and space, but if for the most part, if you're qualified, we strive to pre-enroll you in the next semester as well, or at least put you on the wait list. Sometimes we have people, they get accepted and life changes and they have to withdraw. And, we look down that wait list and pre-enrollment list and call the next person that's up. So
yeah, and sometimes we have, very qualified people from multiple companies that do very similar things, and we don't want them in the same group. So that happens as well, and we will waitlist one of them or pre-enroll them. There's another question. Okay, hold on a second. I have to bring somebody into. Someone was in the waiting room. Okay. Is there any in-between homework responsibilities aside from the 2 main projects?
Well, we officially call it suggested reading and assignments. It's not mandatory because we don't do any tests in the class. But what I encourage is that you're here to learn. We encourage you to read different materials. You're taking these, for the most part, 9 sessions or almost 5 months of time to really dedicate to your organization. So we'll give you a suggested reading for an upcoming session. You can skim it, you can read it, you can never touch it again, but it will be of benefit to you if you're to maximize the program. We do have some videos that are on the business model canvas that are, available online, and that also helps you understand the concept of the business model canvas a little better when you come to class. So we encourage you to watch those videos. But it truly is just the doing the business model canvas assignment and the action plan that allows you to, and of course, attending. We encourage 100% attendance. You can miss up to, I believe it's 3. But usually when someone gets to 3, they're not making it anyways.
Yeah. And, and emergencies might come up, you're sick, your kid's sick, your partner's sick, whatever it might be. So starting and knowing you're going to miss days can be tricky. I think that we covered all of the chat questions. So
I'm just gonna, if you're on the fence about being a part of the program, I just truly encourage you. There's just such positivity and camaraderie that comes out of being on the program. As a leader, oftentimes you're alone at making decisions, and it can be, lack of a better word, a lonely place at the top. And this really helps you build a community with other leaders and forever, because we've been here, over 25 years, and there's no plan on going away. And we hope to become part of your new business family and support you as you grow and develop, as well as your peers. And there's just something about freeing your mind from the day-to-day urgencies of emails and issues that come up, and being able to get away from that and think strategically about where you want to go. We have so many great subject matter experts that come in and present. I would say most, if not all, are entrepreneurs themselves, working and living in the topic or area they're coming to speak on. So you're hearing it, current issues and current trends, and you're able to stay up to date on that. And oftentimes we get a couple of our graduates to come back and present too, because they just see what value they can offer and give back as well. All right, well, we look forward to hopefully seeing you in July, if not sooner, maybe at our conference in the summer. That's always really neat when we see our incoming classmates at the conference as well. I definitely recommend that. And the deadline for this application period is March 31st. And thank you all so much for coming out, and have a wonderful day.